You're watching the Bearcat Network. Today's Tuesday, March 31st, and this is Cat Chat. I'm Chris Sabato with my co-host Kip Ioane, bringing the news, events, and an inside look at Bearcat athletics. We were off last week because of spring break. I was feeling a little under the weather,
Yep.
but we're back at it with lots of
Pages of notes
yeah,
here.
lots of stuff going on, and a good conversation with Tiras Koon coming up. Until then, let's jump into the roundup and take a look at what happened this
All
past
right,
week.
busy. A lot of teams on the road during spring break, but we'll get through everybody. Men's golf we'll start with at the West Cup in California. Finished 8th. Ryan Kukula 15th overall for a shot of 7 over, and he was the NWC Athlete of the Week for that performance. So great job in California by Ryan.
Men's tennis was down in California as well. They were at Biola, where they had a 9-0 loss, and then went over to Caltech. They had a 6-3 loss. They lost all three doubles matches, and then came storming back with wins by Jack Schreibner, Jacob Blaisdell, and Derek Lund, but ultimately not enough to get the win. And they are currently 2-9 overall and 2-3 in the Northwest Conference. On the women's side, they were in Southern California as well. 9-0 loss to Laverne and a 6-3 loss to Caltech, with wins, singles wins from Denise Poltowski and a doubles win from Poltowski and Smith and Adams and Rumley. They're 1-12 overall and 0-6 in the Northwest Conference.
Baseball was actually in the state of Oregon. Last Tuesday, played Corbin in a Tuesday midweek game, 7-2 loss here at our place. Then the big series over the weekend was at the Wildcats over there in McMinnville at Linfield College. Saturday didn't go the way we wanted to, 7-0 loss and 3-2 loss. However, Sunday, Bearcats bounced back. Jackson Watt got the win with a complete game in the 4-2 win, and who we're talking to, our Bearcat spotlight, Tiras Koon, hit a 3-run homer to put the Cats over the top. Anytime you can get a win against a very good program like Linfield, they're doing something right. Right now, they're right in the thick of things for the Northwest Conference playoff chase. 17-7 overall, 10-6 in the Northwest Conference.
It's a very competitive conference
That's
this
crazy,
year, and
yeah.
it's going to come down to wire to who gets
Absolutely.
those top
We'll
four
have some more
spots.
scenarios from you.
Yeah,
because you're good at those.
We'll get there. Yeah.
Softball. Coach Snyder and the ladies were down. Started off across the country, so to speak, in Idaho versus College of Idaho. 8-3 win the first game. Then they played Northwest Nazarene. 9-3 loss. Then a 10-6 win, and followed by a 21-12 win, which is almost like a football score. That's a lot of bats working there. So great job there. Then they started conference play again. George Fox was an interesting. The first game was a 3-2 win in 8 innings
with a walk-off hit by pitch.
Taking one for the team.
The bases loaded.
That's great.
Literally took one for the team.
That's awesome.
So.
And then another close loss, 10-9 loss, so 3-2 win to start the Fox series, 10-9 loss to wrap it up. Then Pacific was a 3-1 loss and a 6-5 loss. So all competitive. The ladies had a ton of games. Amanda Absher and Ashley Pender both came away with home runs in the Pacific Series. Absher had 12 RBIs for the weekend, which was a great number. 7-17 overall, 4-10 in the Northwest Conference. But I think a lot of improvements being shown. On the softball diamond.
Yep, they're getting better. Track and field, Willamette Invitational, big meet this past weekend, and a lot of good marks.
Yeah.
On the men's side, Yanni Castillo in the 1500 meters ran 3:59.25, which was a PR.
Awesome.
He's currently 22nd in the country right now. Grant Lindley in the 400 PR 49.71.
That's a freshman.
He's a freshman, and his brother is a senior on the team as well, so you may recognize the Lindley name. But 49.71, that's a PR for him, and he's also 22 in the country currently. Jacob Schaffe is a steeplechase, 9:42.88. He's 16th in the country. Tyler Higley in the hammer, 49.87. That's about 163 feet, and he's 20th in the country. So
a lot of guys.
A lot of guys they're looking pretty good. They've got 20 athletes qualified in 41 events, and I'll actually, when we dig
qualified
deep,
for NWC.
For NWC, yeah.
Gotcha.
And digging deeper, I'm going to go into what all that means and how that works.
Yep.
On the women's side, an even better day for the women. Molly Bond, another PR for her in the long jump, 5:23. She's not a huge long jumper, but she just keeps eking it out there, and she's currently 21st in the country in the long jump. Kaylee Thorpe, 48.03 in the hammer. That's against about 160 feet. It's PR for her. Second on the Willamette all-time list, and she's 13th in the country.
Right.
Kelsey Engstrom in the shot put, 11.79, about 38, 39 feet. PR for her. PR for her in the hammer as well at 45.95. That's about 150 feet. So it's PR for her. She's fifth on the Willamette
Oh,
all-time
that's
list, and
excellent.
she's 19th in the country.
That's great.
So the ladies hammer throwers are doing pretty well.
Soren's still working the throws, right?
Yeah, Soren,
Just
Coach Soren
the
Sorensen.
legend.
Yeah, Angie Turpin, 134 feet in the hammer for her, and she's number 10 on the Willamette all-time
That's
list.
great.
And that's a PR for her. Mara Forbush in the 200, a PR with 25.64. PR, 7th all-time at Willamette and 15th in the country. In the 400 at 57.95. PR, 8th at all-time at Willamette and 11th in the country. So she's having a great season as well. Um, Kylie Johnson in the 200, 25.68. PR, 9th
Man.
all-time at Willamette and 17th in the country. Uh,
Keep it
the
going.
list goes on.
Keep it going. I like it.
Taylor Ostrander in the steeplechase, 11:03.61. Not a PR for her, but she's fifth in the country
Okay.
currently. Hannah Swanson in the 1500 freshman. She's at 4:44.57. It's a PR for her, and 15th in the nation currently. And Olivia Mansell in the 1500, 4:34.71. It's a PR. She's number 5 all time at Willamette. She's second in the country, and she was given the Northwest Conference Athlete of the Week.
And those last three names, people probably recognize them from cross country
Yes.
as well.
Yeah, yep. So they've got 29 athletes qualified in 72 events. So the women's team is looking good.
Awesome.
The rankings just came out, and they're currently 19th in the country.
All right.
So.
Excellent. On the rowing side, one of our former Cat Chat guests, Coach Reba Knickerbocker, and the Bearcats were at Chico State. The varsity 8 finished first in 7:42. That's good enough to be named the NWC Team of the Week. So our streak of helping guests continues.
Yes.
The novice 8 actually finished second as well in 8:26. So obviously all the ladies rowing, correct? The women's side,
Yep.
rowing did a great job down at Chico, and we'll hope they can keep it rolling in the water.
Yeah. Digging deeper.
Here we go.
We're going to talk a little bit about track and field for you team sport people.
Yep. It's hard to
understand. It's a little confusing sometimes. So in track and field, there is a team component,
Okay.
but for the most part, that does not come into play until the conference meet.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
like the Willamette Invitational,
there was no team scores,
stuff. Okay. Even though certain teams were there represented,
Yep.
there was no team score.
There was no team score. If you follow the results from the Corbin meet, it's just Willamette and Corbin. It was a dual meet.
Mm-hmm.
If you have under 4 teams, by rule, you have to score it.
Okay.
So there has to be a score.
And
there has to be a
scoring
winner.
is based on the placing per event.
Yeah. So for a dual meet, it's 5 points for the win, 3 for second, 2 for third, 1 for fourth.
Okay.
But neither Willamette or Corbin are going to try to win the meet.
Okay.
They don't care. Nobody cares.
That's not. You don't want to be 1-0 in the duel.
It does because
Okay.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
It's just a rule.
Okay.
So leading up until the conference meet, athletes are trying to get marks.
Okay.
They're trying to do the best they can in the mark. Because in the conference, there's qualifying standards for each event. You have to hit this, do at least this,
to go.
Just to go.
So I could let's say I'm in the 100, so I'm super fast.
Back
in the day.
Yeah.
But I could win every meet I'm in, but if I don't hit that, if I don't run that mark, I'm not going to the NWC.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And so I mean, it's possible that there's only, and actually several years ago this happened. I think maybe in the high jump or the women's pole vault, there was only like they score 8 in the conference meet.
Mm-hmm.
There's only like 7 that qualified.
Oh, gotcha.
Because
Gotcha.
there was more high jumpers in the conference. They just weren't. They didn't hit the mark.
Technically, weren't good enough.
They weren't good enough.
Okay.
So for most athletes at the conference level, they're trying to hit those marks to get into conference.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you get to conference, then it's kind of a mix of individual team.
Okay.
You want to do the best in your event. You want to win.
To score. Okay.
So people
Let's put me back in the 100. If I win, I'm scoring again for my team. But now my mark now, I want to try to get toward the NCAAs.
Well, typically
all year long does that happen? I'm looking for that.
Yeah, that happens all year long. And so typically at the conference meet, it's more that's the meet that's more focused on the team and getting points for the team.
Okay.
So sometimes people will run great performances and run real fast, but for the most part, usually the conference meet is not your fastest race because a lot of it's more, especially in the distance race, it's more strategic because it's not about going and running the fastest you can. It's going about beating everyone else.
Gotcha.
And so like in a lot of times in the mile, and you'll see this in the Olympics too when you're watching the finals of the
Mhm.
Olympics. It's uh, they'll go out real slow
Mhm.
because nobody wants to like put it out there, and it's strategic.
Yeah.
And typically strategic races are slower.
Okay.
So the conference meet is about place and points, and getting as many points as you can to help the team win.
Okay.
And at the same time, you want to get yourself
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
on the podium. Um, and so once the conference meet's done, most of the team, most of our team, most of other teams are kind of done at that
Okay.
point. The season's over for
Okay.
them. But then you have these people who are ranked in the national in the country to try and get them to the national meet.
Mhm.
And the way the national meet works is they take the top 20. It's different for men and women.
Okay.
So on men's side, it's the top 20 teams, on the women's side, or top 20 individuals in each event,
Okay.
and on the women's side, it's the top 22.
Okay. What is the purpose of that?
Why is it different?
Yes.
Yeah.
By two.
Well, the idea is they want the same number of men and women total at the meet.
Okay.
So the way it used to be is that there was automatic and provisional marks, and they kind of selected some people from here and people from here, so they could get. I think it's like 240. We'll say
Okay.
247. I
To
think
make the meet full.
make the meet full
Okay.
and the same on both genders, same
Gotcha.
size on both genders. Um, and when they switched to just a straight descending order list, um, looking at historical results, they found that women are more likely to double.
Oh.
So there's more likely a woman that'll run the 100 and the 200
Okay.
and a relay
Okay.
than a male runs the
Okay.
100 and 200 relay. Males typically will maybe only run one event.
Okay.
Um, and it at face value it kind of seems unfair, but when you look at it that way,
It makes sense.
it makes sense.
Okay.
The same number of roughly the same number of athletes end up going per gender.
So once I get done with the NWCs, if I'm a person that's got NCAA aspirations, do I have more chances to get that mark?
Yeah, yeah. So usually it depends on the season. It depends on what when the national meet is and when the
Mhm.
conference meet is. But usually there's somewhere between 3 and 5 opportunities.
Okay. That's what those last chances.
That's what those last
Okay.
chance meets are, and it's those are strictly individual, like trying to get
Go beat the clock
go beat the
or the
clock.
tape. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and you'll see in the Midwest it's more prevalent, but you'll see teams who, they'll go to a meet on Wednesday,
Mhm.
on Thursday, on Friday, and
Oh,
just
yeah.
trying to get that
Gotcha.
one last
Yeah.
attempt to get their marks up. Um, so that's kind of
Is
how it
there
works.
regionals in track and field like cross country?
Nope, there's
No.
no
So
regionals.
just
It's just
conference to the big show.
yeah, and
Gotcha.
and the conference has nothing to do with the big show.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter what you do in conference.
Doesn't matter.
You could win conference,
Yeah,
you could
yeah.
lose conference.
I'm saying, yeah, okay, I got you.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. In most team sports, you win the conference
Right,
meet,
you get an
you get to
automatic.
go.
Yeah, yeah.
In track and field, it doesn't matter.
Gotcha.
You have to hit your mark, and you have to be in that top
The
20,
20.
22 list, and at the end, it always ends up being if you're in that for a male, if you're in that 18 to 22 range,
Mhm.
there's still a question because it depends. Maybe someone's not going to run.
Mhm.
If someone's qualified and they're ranked first in the 100
Yeah.
and second in the 200 and 15th in the
They
400,
might say no to
they're
the
probably
four.
going to say no to the
Gotcha.
400. So that bumps everyone up.
Yeah.
So there's still this little question. It's like, am I going to get in? Am I
Yeah.
not?
And they release that all to get like here's the today's the day, here's the 20.
Yep.
Okay.
So all the lists they're generated dynamically. So at the end of Willamette Invitational, we upload our results,
Okay.
and within 5 minutes, all our new
You'll
marks
see
are up
where
there,
you're
and
at.
you see where you're at.
Perfect.
And as the day goes on, other meets from around the country will upload their results, and it'll just keep dynamically building. And then
So a person like Taylor, she's fifth right now. That's
right.
a pretty good indication that she's got a chance to make it.
She's got
If I'm 22nd like Grant, I still got some work to do.
yeah,
Okay.
20. The other thing too is that half the country still has snow.
So they haven't
You
run
know,
yet. I got you.
and yeah, so some of these rankings are a little misleading. Taylor at fifth, she's good.
Mhm.
She was,
Yeah.
she's going to be there the rest of the season
Right.
in that range.
Yeah.
Um, um,
Is it possible to be ranked but not have hit the mark yet? Or could I be 18th overall but There's only 17 people that have hit the mark,
Well,
the qualifying.
in the conference, yes, but
Okay.
for the national meet, it's not.
It's
There's no.
just 20. It's just
just the
top.
20.
Oh, I
It's
got
just
you.
it's
So I'm
just.
just the fastest.
Yep, they
Gotcha.
take the 20,
Okay.
20 fastest
That makes sense.
that want to run. Yeah.
Okay.
And like I said, it's half the country is
Thawing
they're
out.
still digging out. And in Division 3, where a majority of the schools are in the Midwest and East
Mhm.
Coast. So the first couple weeks of the season for us on the national list is a little deceiving.
Gotcha.
But when you typically see them in the 1, 2, 4, 5 range,
Mhm.
those people will stay close to that.
Gotcha. So then, if you're going to win the whole thing, it's the numbers game as well. You better have people there, not just
Yeah,
hey, we got
yeah,
we got the fastest woman in America. Doesn't matter because she's
yeah.
the only one we have.
Well, and that's the interesting when you talk about winning
Mhm.
a team national championship.
Mhm.
It's much different to win a team national championship than to win a team conference championship because there's so many more teams.
Gotcha.
So you can win a team national championship with 5, 6 athletes.
Okay.
You can't win a conference with
NWC,
that.
no way. Okay.
No, you need
Gotcha.
to because you're scoring in the conference and in the national meet. You're scoring the top 8 at
Okay.
top 8.
Gotcha.
So there's um, a lot of times where you win at the conference level is by getting a 1 or 2, and then getting a 6, 7, 8,
Gotcha.
5, 4.
Yeah.
3,
Yeah.
the you filling in. It's
Mhm.
all about depth. The
Gotcha.
more depth you have at the conference meet, the better chance you have at win.
Mhm.
Where at the national meet, it's more about having
The tops.
that they have a couple top people.
Gotcha.
I mean, I think I can't remember. It was a couple. I think it might have been Nick Simmons last year, where he was by himself. He was like 15th.
Oh.
You know,
Gotcha. Yeah,
you win.
that illustrates it absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So that's track and field.
Good.
It's a little
It
confusing
is.
for you team sport people,
Yeah.
but it's an individual sport, and it's about for the most part, it's doing what you can do yourself the
Mhm.
best, and then how that can help the
Yeah.
team.
Absolutely.
All right, we're here with Tiras Koon of the baseball team. Had a pretty good Sunday. Hit
Absolutely.
a was it 2 run, 3 run home run?
3 run.
3 run.
Yeah.
No, just 1 run shy of the Big Daddy, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what brought you to Willamette. What?
I mean, I definitely wanted to go to school somewhere on the West Coast because I wanted to be close to home because I'm from Hawaii and I didn't really want to stay home. And I have family up here, so that
Mm.
played a role. And I don't know, Willamette just did a really good job of reaching out to me. I came visit here and I got toured with Coach Swick, and I thought it was a really nice campus, and I knew they had good academics here. And I went to a private high school that was kind of big on academics, and I know my parents wanted me to kind of stay in that line of direction. So I don't know, everything just kind of fell into place for me to come here.
Good.
And the rain hasn't bugged you.
I mean,
See, I got
it
it.
was so bad my freshman year,
Yeah.
and I mean, I had my doubts after that freshman
Uh-huh.
year, and then ever since then it's just gotten better and better
Get
each
used
year.
to it,
So
yeah.
I mean, yeah,
And it's been nice for the most part.
yeah,
especially for your guys this season compared to usual.
it's been a blessing.
Yeah. So we've talked to a couple people from Hawaii. Tell us a little bit about was there a culture change from the island to the Willamette Valley?
Yeah.
I mean, other than the weather. I mean, it's obviously we're not living in paradise, but
Yeah.
but the culture. I mean,
Yeah, the people, it's just the whole general everything is just slightly different because I don't know, when you're back home on the island, it's just everything is kind of like it's hard to explain, but you're like just kind of separate from the rest of the world. Like
Mhm.
everything's a lot faster up here,
yeah.
and like everything up here is just it's more a bigger spectrum of just what you think about and stuff. Where I don't know, I didn't really think about even anything off the island until I was like a teenager. Like I thought that was the whole world, and I mean it's just a little slower paced, more relaxing back home. I mean, yeah, it's
Well, it's a good thing you didn't go to the East Coast because when I moved out here, I was thinking, man, this is slow here. Everything is so slow.
So
Oh,
many
wow.
humans.
So what's your major,
economics.
and what do you want to do with that?
I mean, coming here, I wasn't sure at all what I wanted to do with my major and beyond college, so I just kind of looked at my options here, and I think economics has a pretty broad range of like job opportunities and
Mhm.
what you can do beyond college, and my reasoning, the way I think, kind of fit most well with economics. I'm not a huge like science guy, experimentation and all that
Hmm.
stuff, and so I don't know. It just felt like the right fit for me here. I mean, there's not a huge spectrum, so it's not like I had a lot of different choices, but
Hmm.
this one seemed like the best one here.
Okay. And so, what in all your time at Willamette, what's your favorite class that you've taken?
Oh man, um, I'm gonna have to say economic stats
Hmm.
because statistics was one of my strong points in high
Well, you're a
school.
baseball guy.
Yeah,
It's
you
all
know,
about
that's I'm
stats.
all
Yeah.
about that stuff.
Yep.
So I mean, and I don't know, so I did good in that class, and it was related to econ. I was at that time I was pretty much considering majoring in econ, so
Hmm.
that kind of like I was like, okay, I like this, so I'll stick it out, try it. And so that class kind of was a pivotal point for me, and
Good.
I liked
Good.
it. It was fun.
Good.
Baseball wise, you guys are 17-7, 10-6. You went 1-2 versus Linfield, but ended with a Sunday win. Is that momentum going forward now for you guys? What's the mindset in the clubhouse now? Kind of at the halfway point. There's a conference tournament this year, so
Yeah.
where are you guys at with your mindset?
Um, I mean, our mindset is pretty much that we know that the competition this season, like compared to every other season I've been here, is so level. Like, um, pretty much anybody can beat anybody, and we can beat
Hmm.
anybody on any weekend. So it's just come out and play our best baseball, and
Hmm.
we feel like if we play our best baseball, that we'll beat any of these teams because no one has really set themselves as the team to
Gotcha.
beat in this
Yeah.
conference, and like so, yeah, it's pretty much we just
Anybody's
gotta
ball game going for it. And
focus.
it's
Yeah,
top four go?
top
Okay.
four, and I think we're like third right now,
Okay.
and but we still got a few more series. So
So you started off the season with a bang. I
yeah,
mean, you guys were on fire. Um, when you after you got that first loss, what was the mindset? Were you just like it was coming and we're just gonna keep going, or did that kind of set you back a little bit? And
I mean, at least for me, I don't know about the whole team, but I think for the general, the most team, we knew perfect season is something that's kind of it's kind of far.
Yeah.
You don't look to it at the start of a season
Mhm.
like, oh yeah, we're gonna go perfect. Like that's a achievement and a half right there. And so, I mean, we were just focusing on playing each game, as the streak continued. And I mean, when we weren't expect. I mean, we want to win every game, but that's still a task. That's you don't really get down on yourself if you don't achieve it. But after that first loss, I mean, we were still feeling strong about ourselves. I mean, we took 2 of 3 games from George Fox that series, and
Mhm.
so I mean, we still won that series, so we were still feeling good about ourselves. I mean, in baseball, losses come
Yeah.
around like
Right. Well,
very frequently.
and that's interesting because in baseball you play so many games
Yeah.
that you're gonna lose a lot of games comparatively to like
Yeah.
a successful basketball team.
Hmm.
You know they may lose
Be in single digits,
yeah,
Yeah.
but
probably.
the
Yeah.
successful baseball team could lose 10, 15 games.
Yeah.
And so how do you manage that losing's going to happen and you're going to lose a chunk of games, but still not let that affect how you approach the game?
I mean, you kind of have to have that approach when you start playing baseball. It's a game of failure.
Hmm.
I mean, you get credited for being successful. You fail 6 out of 10 times when you go up the plate. I mean, so you got to be kind of uh, prepared or even crazy to play baseball because I mean it's such a frustrating sport. And I mean, if you're looking to succeed every time you go out there and step on the field, then you're going to be in for a rude awakening. So I mean, it's kind of a mindset you have to have if you want to play baseball.
Do you think that mindset helps you at the plate, especially?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, especially be, getting into college and facing more competitive, pitching and
Hmm.
defense. Like you definitely need to accept failure.
Hmm.
Like in growing up as a kid, little league, high school, competition's not as tough, and if
Hmm.
you're one of the better guys, then you're going to
Yeah.
be getting used to the success, and so it's tougher when you come to college and you take a step back almost. You have to make that adjustment.
Is that mindset? Is that mental part of the game? Is that something you guys do individually? Is that an approach Coach Swick, Coach Hunter, Coach Kaz? Do they talk to you guys about? How does
Um,
it? It's interesting. I think a manager sometimes in baseball you can't quite see what they're doing,
yeah.
especially if you're not in the sport. But talk a little bit about what you guys go through together or with your coaches, what they're teaching you.
I mean, before every season, during the off season, and um, even as we get into the season, we meet in the classroom and we talk about our mental
Okay.
approach to the game because it's such a big factor in baseball, and so they definitely guide us on how we should accept failure and just go about playing the game,
Mhm.
and it definitely helps. But I think it's more um, important for like individual guys just
Mhm.
to like develop their own way of
Like your approach could be different from the next guy up.
yeah,
Okay.
and so like just and the way you cope with how your day is going
Mhm.
because there will be days where it seems like nothing goes right,
Yeah.
and you're gonna have to have something to fall back on, just to get yourself to go back out
Yeah.
there, perform the next day.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what's looking back? What is the one moment that stood out to you that you'll always remember?
Um, one moment in like all my
It will in
years.
well it will end it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, for me personally, um, I would have to say last season playing Linfield. It was, I think, the second game of the series, and they were at this time they were like whatever their record was, 20-1 or something.
Mhm.
They were number one in the nation, and we were playing them tough the whole game, and I'm pretty sure it was like a 1-1 tie going into like the eighth inning, and then luckily two guys on our team, I can't remember who it was, um, got on base, and I was lucky enough to come up to bat and hit a 3-run homer to take the 4-1 lead going into the bottom of the eighth, and we ended up winning like 7-3. And I don't know, it felt great to because Linfield always gave us such a pretty sure the 2 years before that they swept us, or maybe we would win one game,
Mhm.
but that one definitely felt good to just pull through for my team right there in that big moment. And
Anything you can do against purple is awesome.
oh yeah, oh yeah, I mean
So what's for the fans out there? I know you guys are home this week against Pacific, correct?
yeah.
What's the key to the rest of this run? Is it a combination of the pitching, the hitting? What's the strengths of the team? What are we looking for as we go down the trying to get into that tournament?
Um, I think the key definitely is going to be pitching
Hmm.
and defense, but our hitting, we have great hitting. We can just produce runs
Hmm.
like it, but it's kind of a contagious thing. Like we have streaks where the bats kind of die,
Hmm.
and I feel like they somewhat picked up. I mean, on Sunday,
Hmm.
definitely on Saturday this past weekend, they were kind of dead. So I mean, we just gotta continue to swing the bats, but I think it's more important that our pitching shows up, which it has pretty much the whole season.
Hmm.
And so I mean, I think if our three main star guys can just give us whatever 3, 4 more quality
Hmm.
starts like they've been doing, I think we'll be in good shape. Yeah.
So when you're batting, you come up to bat. Do you have a good idea of what kind of pitches you're gonna see? I mean, have you scouted or have the coaches scouted? Do you know enough that this he's gonna pitch me a fastball in the first pitch or whatever it would be?
Yeah. Usually we have a general sense. We have pitcher tendencies from like um, seasons before when they
Hmm.
played us, or even from whoever we're playing, like games from that season when the
Hmm.
pitcher's thrown. And so I mean, you kind of get a general idea, and plus, just I've noticed for the most part, most pitchers pitch me the same way. And so I mean, and then of course there's always gonna be guys that try and surprise me because usually it's all off the plate or away,
Hmm.
and then mix in fast and off speed, and then some guys will try and sneak in with like a fastball if they've got a decent velo. They'll try and sneak in on me.
A
So
velo. What's a velo?
velocity, they can
There you go. You're learning.
they
You're
can
Yeah,
chuck
learning.
the ball a little bit.
velo.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
but
All right.
I mean, yeah. So I think that, but when pitchers can change up their looks and the pitch calling, I think that's when it's more effective. And I think that's what Linfield did this past weekend, at least on Saturday. They did a real good job at like not pitching you the same way they did the bat
Hmm.
before. So you're just getting different looks each time, and I think that's the key if you want to be successful on the mound, especially Division 3. You're not going to have guys pumping in like 95 from the
Hmm.
mound, so they really got to use their strategy and so. But
Now, I played little league baseball, so I'm an expert.
Yes, absolutely.
um, when you're batting, are you trying to place the ball in certain positions, or are you just trying to hit it as hard as you can, or does that depend on the player too?
Um, I mean, I guess it can depend on the player. Me personally, I'm just see ball where it's pitched, and I'm gonna try and hit it, where I can hit it hardest and wherever it's pitched. But I mean, certain situations, uh, depending on where guys are on base or
Mhm.
whatever the situation, the game, the score is, you kind of have an idea of where you want to put the ball.
Mhm.
And so the key is to look to get that pitch where you can put the ball where you
Mhm.
need to. So like if you got like a runner on second base, no outs or one out, and you got a close game, most guys are gonna want to hit the ball to the right side of the field so the guy can advance to third. So I mean, um, depending on the situation, I'm looking for a certain pitch so I can get the job done. But for the most part, I'm just looking for a pitch that I can put a good swing on and hit it hard.
So you're looking more to adjust where the ball goes. You're looking more to select the pitch as opposed to adjusting your swing to place it. Swing early, swing late.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
before we let you go, I got to know. I'm working the concessions. Okay, basketball's working concessions. I got a
Okay.
perfect view of you at the plate, and I can see Bert down there at third. At some point, is he telling you like, "Hey, this is all for? Come on, man, let's go," or is there always a strategy from the signal? I love watching that. Is it, if it's on people on base, it's more strategy. Is there like a hey, just get your mind right? Take me without giving away secrets.
Okay.
Take me
Without
through it a
giving
little
away
bit.
secrets. Usually, with runners on base, he's doing stuff there
Okay.
that means something.
Yeah.
I mean,
If it's
depending
just you out there.
if it's just me out there, he'll usually just tell me, hey, straight up, like,
Yeah.
look for a pitch up, swing away. Or
Yeah.
like, if the guy's struggling out there, like, can't
Yeah.
throw strikes, he'll literally just, like, give me the take one sign and be like, hey, he's
Mhm.
throwing balls right now,
Yeah, yeah.
But,
You see, this cues me in when I'm selling Pepsis at your game because I was staring at it. My son was like, "Dad, what is he doing?" I said, "I gotta ask. I gotta find
yeah,
out."
I mean, yeah, so depending on the situation, like, usually when there's a runner on base, he'll always, do
There's some
something.
strategy
I
stuff
mean,
going on.
half the time it's nothing. I mean, he's just doing
Yeah.
stuff because you want to keep the other guys on their feet.
Right.
They don't want to know when you're doing something. But yeah, he's got that down though.
Yeah,
He
he's a
does.
pro out there.
Oh yeah,
It's fun to
he
watch.
is. He's great to have.
Well, great. Well, we appreciate you stopping by.
Absolutely.
And Pacific this weekend. Come out and watch the baseball team. It's supposed to
It's
be.
a little different Friday, Saturday, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
To
Yeah.
avoid the Easter game. So
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and the weather is supposed to be iffy, but not terrible.
Oregon
So
baseball,
so
they'll play.
that's
Yeah,
So I think
Northwest,
I
Northwest.
think the last thing I saw was scattered light showers or something like that.
Mm.
So hopefully we'll get a little mud ball, huh?
Yeah,
That's
we're
right.
used to it. We're
All
used
right.
to it.
Well,
Yeah.
great. Thanks for joining
luck,
us. Good
man.
luck
Thank
this
you.
Good
weekend.
luck.
Thanks for having me.
All right, looking ahead this week in Bearcat Athletics, baseball has got a midweek game today at Corbin across Salem at 4 p.m. Then they got a big series this weekend here at Willam at John Lewis Field. Pacific Friday at 3 p.m. and Pacific again Saturday. Saturday's the doubleheader, correct?
Yes,
Yeah,
Saturday's a
Saturday's
doubleheader.
doubleheader. It's a little different. Usually they're Saturday, Sunday, but nobody wants to play on Easter Sunday, so we'll bump that up. Softball PLU Friday at 2 p.m. and then Puget Sound Saturday doubleheader for them and that one for both games.
Both games are
Doubleheaders.
doubleheaders.
PLU
Yep.
Friday at 2, Puget Sound Saturday at 12. Track and field at the San Francisco State Distance Carnival Friday at 9 a.m. and then at another portion of the team, or is it different?
Yeah. So what they'll probably do is send a handful of people to San Francisco.
Okay.
Some of the distance, 4 or 5 distance kids
Yeah.
to go and get into a better race so they can get a better time.
Okay.
And the majority of the team will be at Linfield on Saturday.
Linfield's the Jen Boyman Memorial Invitational Saturday at 10 a.m. Women, the tennis teams, women Puget Sound Friday at 4. That's here at Willamette. Then at George Fox Saturday at 11 a.m. Men's tennis George Fox Saturday at 1 p.m. And then Monday they're at UPS, probably avoiding that Easter thing again, at 1 p.m. up in Tacoma. So another busy slate. Spring is full fledged.
Yeah.
Hopefully the weather cooperates for everybody. That it should be Go Bearcats out there on the track, on the diamonds, and on the tennis courts.
Yeah, there's lots going on this weekend. So
Absolutely.
check it all out if you're in town. If you're not in town, most of it is online. The baseball and softball. You can watch those on the Bearcat Network at bit.ly/WooBearcats. And for all of the latest news and tidbits, follow us on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and you can find
We're
all
everywhere.
those. Yeah, bit.ly/WooSocial. Now give you a list of of all the places and all the teams that have all their various accounts.
Perfect.
Yeah. So until next week, I hope you enjoyed the show and go Bearcats.
Absolutely.